Hey. Hey.
Penis.
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 Peanuts.
P-nice.
Everybody,
Baby nut.
welcome back to Nat19 Devils Might Surrender, Session 11!
Oh my god!
You got big scissors.
What's about
Got-
scissors?
Got a big scissors situation in the hallway.
Some kind of a ghost or some sort of a creature passing through walls and has giant scissors or something. I know that we wanted to have some sort of a rest, but if this is going to be anything, I'd rather not this thing come up underneath the bed and chop all of us in half.
I heard there was this horror movie where a guy had an entire, dungeon and the walls were all made of feet.
That sounds awful.
That sounds like somebody's
feel like I-
paradise.
Like
That's
toe
a
like
very
I only
walls?
have a few
dedicated
more
serial
of-
killer.
Yeah, like a toe wall.
Like toe.
I feel
That's
like I only have a
terrible.
few more of those, so let's
No,
try to
that-
keep them at use.
That sounds like somebody's good
I don't
time.
want walls of toes.
I think that the
like-
catchphrase for the movie was, "There's evil afoot."
Ah, that's really good.
Oh.
I don't get it.
Are they 4.5 rated toes, Amy?
Of course.
Oh my god!
You saw it go through the floor, so I guess we gotta go down the stairs, because the elevators definitely aren't
Probably.
working anymore. What with it? I think, didn't it fall and explode?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
It did the
Oh.
most falling and exploding I think I've ever heard.
We could grab onto the cables and slide down.
No,
Oh, I love that idea.
Or we can take the stairs.
You get far enough down that you reach where the next lobby is, which are every few floors. And you notice that there is light there as you guys enter into it. The lobbies kind of separate where the stairwells are, in that you have to exit one stairwell, loop around to get to another part of the building, and go down another one. But as you guys exit into it, you hear the sound of wind wisping through the hallways. The storm outside appears to be picking up again a little bit as the night goes on, but this floor appears to relatively have light. As you guys emerge, you find that on the side of the collapsed on the side of the hallway where you emerge from the area, just outside the doorway, appears to have been collapsed. You notice,
Oh, jeez.
streaking across the hallway in front of you, moving up towards the main area of the lobby, not the same creature you saw before, not the scissor creature, but you do see what appears to just be a living shadow almost peek out, and then dart away from the wall, taking off from the shadow that it came from, and moving out into the lobby area, as if frightened by you being there. As you guys move over, you move out into view of the lobby, where again, there are several lights that are still on and functioning in that area. The lobby consists of one relatively massive room that it looks like there's like some benches, some places where at one point there might have been tables set up. 4 massive square pillars seem to support it, and there's a series of balconies that people would have been lounging on at some point and looking out at the city. There's another series of elevators, and you see light coming from 2 of the 3 elevators that are on the eastern side of the room. But as it goes, and you guys look into the somewhat well-lit, but still kind of spooky room ahead of you, Nico, you do see, peeking in from about up there, you do see what looks like the head of this timid little shadow just looking out towards all of you.
Would I have heard of scissory demons before? Or am I totally in the dark here?
You roll me religion. Sure, you've heard of sin scissors, fairly common type of jailer demon. That is usually is some sort of small parasitic demon that coats itself in darkness and wields a large pair of scissors or sometimes a scythe. They're known to always wear a porcelain mask. That is usually the only thing poking out of the cloak of darkness they have on themselves. And that's about the extent of it.
So we go in and we just mess it up, right? That's what we're doing.
I don't know.
There's a creature watching us from the end of the hall. A small, shadowy creature. I don't know if it's the same creature, but if you say that they shroud themselves in darkness, there is a possibility.
They're supposed to be in Norway.
What?
Scissor Man's from Norway. Or at least they're in Norway. I don't know if they're from Norway.
I don't think it's what you're thinking
Is that a
about.
plane of hell?
What?
There's- No,
I mean, maybe.
it could be. I don't know of anything called Norway.
You'd have to ask Norwegian people.
Either way, we can assume that that's not. We can assume that that's not good, then, right?
Yeah, big tough boys, as you guys would probably say.
I pull out my rifle and I aim it toward the shadow.
Are you firing?
Okay,
I will fire toward the shadow.
let's go.
Okay, so go ahead and could you hit the cover button and then roll that attack? Oh, goodness. Alright, you fire. Go ahead and roll me damage and I'll throw it on it. You fire at it. As it hits it, it strikes the shadow, and as it does, there is this weird ethereal screech that comes from the shadow as that part of it seems to be blown apart. You hear this one wail come from its location, and then you hear several more from around the room. I want to have everybody roll initiative, because we're about to get into some stuff since you guys made that attack. Alright, Theo, you are up first.
Alright. I'm gonna scoop my cute little boot to right there.
She does have a cute little boot.
What are you gonna do with the other boot?
Because I have no fucking focus points to help me do dick. Just get a little bit closer. Come a little bit closer, and we're gonna long range shoot a bitch with magistrate.
Oh.
Well,
If you have any style points, they're gone. As you fire at it, you shoot your gun. The wailing sound from the thunderous bullet strikes the side of the pillar, and part of it blasts off, but you see the shadow dip into and hide behind the pillar.
Oh, well, okay, so I'm gonna use my bonus action and reload my gun.
And extra attack, shoot him again. Hiya!
That hits.
hey.
Yay!
Hey!
You
This is
shoot it,
fine.
it hits it. It doesn't seem to, do as much damage as you might want it to. That's magistrate, right? That's it. That's a devil arm, so your magic should be considered magical. 1 second.
Magic should be magical. It's true.
I never wrote magic onto it. Interesting. I don't know if that was my intention at the time, but I've decided that it's magical now. So it takes the full damage.
That seemed to do something. That's a whole lot of Fianulo right there.
All
Yeah,
right.
it was a weird way to say it, though.
What?
Don't worry about it.
I don't get it, but okay.
Theo,
Yes.
roll me a perception check. It will
I don't
have,
have eyes.
it will have advantage. As you are doing this, you don't catch it in time, but this black cloak-like darkness, this wisping figure that you can now see more clearly in front of you, emerges up from the ground and wraps around you. And all of you would see this as well. I'll share the general image of it. As you see what appears to be this living shadow just emerge and latch onto Theo from behind. As it does,
No!
it is going to go for an attack on you, and it's going to have advantage. It hits. You feel necrotic energy pump through your body as it brings its hands up and places them against you. You immediately feel cold and pain shoot through you. You take 8 points of necrotic damage as well. Could you roll 1d4, Theo? 1. It's probably the best. As your strength is reduced by 1.
My arms feel a little bit more noodly, and I don't know why.
Manny, roll me perception.
Okay.
Alright, you see it, so you're not gonna have, it's not gonna have advantage on you. Another one appears behind you, Manny.
Joke's on you, Buster. I've seen this movie.
As it reaches out towards you, it goes to strike you. There's just an elongated... As it reaches out towards you. That's a hit. You take 8 necrotic damage, and please roll me 1d4. I'm letting you guys do it, just, I don't know, because that's what I'm doing. 1! Good job! Alright, so your strength is also going to go down by a 1, as that hits you. But you managed to avoid being hurt quite as much. And finally, Nicolo, could you roll me a perception check?
I don't suppose passive 20 would be enough.
It would. You know what? I'm going to say that it would in this case, just because the area, the area is relatively well lit. You have dark vision, right? You have the goggles on. Cool. Then we'll say yes. Another one rises up near you, and it's going to go for the same attack. As you see it coming, you bring your blade up, strike it. As the blade goes through it, it doesn't seem to actually find any purchase in it, but you do put some space between you and the creature very briefly. This particular one is then going to try to move away from you. It's going to move out of your space.
I'm going to assume that I brought out my machete, just not actually, but like just in.
I
in
did
story
just
mode.
describe you cutting at it, so sure, I grant you that.
Hey, let's fucking go!
That's a hit! Cut into it, it deals half damage to it as you strike it. It again lets it as it moves away, its form shifting as it does.
Don't you walk away from me!
It walks away from you. passes through the wall.
He leaves my range as well.
Stop that bitch in his tracks.
Bam!
Oh!
I'll take it.
Bam!
You walk away from
and
him.
He stops moving.
Walk away from me.
As this happens, Arden brings his glaive out, strikes it towards him, and strikes through the shadow, piercing into the wall behind it. And though its form isn't solid, it seems to stop it from moving, as if it's anchored to the wall behind it.
I'm gonna go for a hunter's mark on this boy.
Gotcha.
Let's go.
That's a crit! You gain 2 style points, roll your damage.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Nice.
You fire at it, as he pins it to the wall, you shoot it in the wall, that part of the wall detonates, and its form scatters, the shadowy material it's made out of returning back, and almost seeming to get pulled into the shadows around it.
So this is Max is 5 now, right?
Yes.
I'm stylish.
Did I ever actually say out loud on the stream, like, what our letters are?
No.
I don't think so. I had to read it.
Oh, okay, I want to read it, just so everyone knows, because every game changes up what the ranks mean. Hold on. They are, from worst to best, distressing, cataclysmic, beautiful, atomizing, stylish, sizzling stylish, and sexy sizzling stylish. Tongue twister.
Nice.
You're stylish.
I'm gonna not be stylish for a second because I'm gonna put 1 style point into this one.
Gotcha.
For my extra attack, and I'm gonna attack the one at Theo.
Yep, that hits. Minimum damage, 9 damage. The one that is up there. It is going to move to the side, and it is going to vanish from your sight as it disappears. As it disappears behind the pillar, you guys once again hear that ethereal moving around you, and you start to hear another couple points where the same sound picks up as well. Right?
I've got a booming blade.
Okay.
Hey.
Pull out my knife and I stab at Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take your attack at it, you roll a 12, it hits.
Hey!
Nice.
You hit it, it is very dead.
And then I run away.
That creature ran off. Maybe it might be best if we continue looking for the one with the scissors.
Okay.
As you say that, your eyes feel a bit heavy for a second, and you find yourself closing them and trying to blink, as I am going to have to, real quick, I'm going to roll a Constitution saving throw against you. As you find your vision beginning to cloud, you, like, rub your eyes and try to push away whatever effect is happening. And you see this brief glint of, as you stop and as your eyes seem to go back to normal, you look down and you notice in the reflection of your blade, just behind you, you see this momentary glint. And just in time, you see a massive pair of scissors forming out of the air invisibly behind you and attacking you, as it is going to be taking the next turn as it comes out of invisibility.
Oh!
Snip, 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 snip.
Snip, snip!
Because it failed to blind you with legendary actions, but it is the boy's turn. Goes for an attack on you. As they close on you, you manage to get away, but a very long gash is left up your arm as you avoid your body being cut in half. As you take 31 damage, and you nat 1 your concentration check on Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
As it does this, it is going to turn towards the lot of you. It raises up one of the arms that it is holding, one of the secondary arms that are more bluish, and you see it begin to move. It brings both of those arms that it's holding together, and they begin forming this ice sphere in the center of them, and it is going to unleash a cone of cold energy, aptly named, in the direction of the hallway. Which is gonna get you guys.
No.
I don't know that.
Marile, you succeed, so you'll take half. The other two of you, this wave of cold erupts forwards and strikes everything in the hallway as this massive Faust creature reels up, almost filling the room where it is. The damage you guys are going to take is 8d8 cold. Let's see what that looks like. Arden, you take 43 damage. It rolled nasty. Manny, you are taken out as you're hit by it, and Marile, you reduce it down to 21. The creature's arms go out to the side. It lets out this distorted, cackling, laughing sound that seems to reverberate around the area.
Yeah, I'll just use my Vital Star L.
And
Hey, go, Manny.
And just because, just in case anybody, because I want to put it up on screen, but just because, ba-bam. There's the boy again.
Hell yeah.
Look at those hands. Look at those 6 hands.
See, it's much easier to like look at that and be like, see, it's got one set of arms with scissors and another set of arms holding another set of arms. Fucking, when you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, that's obvious. In between your turns, it's going to take a legendary action. It's going to move half its movement speed without provoking any attacks of opportunity. It wisps away, moves away from all of you, gets a bit farther out from you, and then its face reemerges from its blacky body and it reorients itself to be looking over towards you.
I'm gonna enjoy the on the floor head pat I got, and then I'm gonna point my ring at it and go, "Ah!"
Alrighty. Normal ring use or
Normal, yeah.
you cast Gust of Wind?
Oh!
Many is the breeze that is approaching. As you guys do that, you hear, Arden, there's this moment from you where you feel this disturbance, this almost like ping, as if a source of demonic energy goes off nearby, and you don't feel like any danger from it, but there's just this moment before it goes off, you find yourself quickly darting, looking towards one of the balconies, as you hear what sounds like a high-powered gunshot coming from somewhere outside.
Oh, fuck.
Stone cracks and crashes around where the Scissor Faust is as some high-caliber round fires from outside, from a building that's near you guys, and strikes into it. We're gonna see if it strikes it. Yup! It hits it. As it gets struck, part of the darkness that is on it gets blasted away.
Good job, Logan. That's your new personal best.
As it does, the blurring effect, as of it taking this damage, the blast hits the mask slightly, and it goes off-center. The blur effect disappears, and the way the blur happens is going to function slightly differently from here on, but it also takes 21 damage, as what appears to be a sniper round hits it.
Hey.
Behind it, you see one of the pillars on the walls cracks and gets blasted off. The pillar doesn't collapse, but just a large chunk of it is destroyed by this blast.
I recognize the kind of sniper round that went off.
You don't, but you have this weird instinctual knowledge from like your demonic half that whatever it is was demonic in nature.
Got it.
Feels like a devil arm. One of those cases where it's hard to pin that down, but it kind of feels like it doesn't feel like Caliber Hound, but the feeling you got from it is similar to when the devil arms around you have been used for their abilities, or what you remember of Caliber Hound being used. There's just this eruption of demonic energy that you recognize, and that's it. Theo!
Woohoo! Yay! Okay, I'm gonna go here. Scoot my cute little boot over there.
Scoot that boot.
Scoot that boot.
You see this thing like fighting, like drifting, attempting to move against the wind after it recollects itself. The wind almost seems to be pushing the darkness off of it.
I'm gonna pull up Magistrate, and we're gonna do a little.
Just let me know. Nice!
Hell
Hey.
yeah!
Hit it!
Okay. Hi.
What's it like to crit?
It's
Fire! You
Pretty
deal
good.
17 damage. That is the most. That is the
thank
most average crit you could have managed.
I know, man.
And it's her new personal best.
It's true.
I got.
Not
two
only
stars.
that, but you would also note that when you hit it, the damage type you're using, it is vulnerable to that attack. When you hit it again, you strike the mask with the bullet. You deal 27 damage. The critical damage is
Wait, it's vulnerable to
critical damage.
Okay.
To the
cool.
extra damage from crits. I.e., the mask is its weak point, so if you can manage to pinpoint hit it, it takes extra damage.
Nice.
How's
Okay.
that for a DMC game mechanic? That's how it is in the games. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
I'm just gonna do Deliverance. Yeah!
You fire, that one misses.
No, that's okay. I'm going to just use my cute little bonus action and just reload my gun, and that's a whole lot of feeling there.
Okay.
But I crit, so I'm very happy.
I am going to, well, first off, I'm gonna fail my roll and go 15 feet forward.
All right. As you do this, instead of like letting it push you through the air, you find yourself slipping on the ice on the ground, and you just look up at it with a clever look in your eyes for a second down. Just kind of brace yourself in a snowboarding position and just let the wind push you, and you slide along the ice towards it.
That's gonna work so well with what I have planned here.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna activate Zephyr Strike,
which
not only gives me extra movement, but it gives me advantage on one weapon attack. I'm going to move my 30 feet over here. Like, as like I slide in, I want to like kick off on like the hard ground and then move this way. Then with my extra 15 feet, I want to move like right here. And I would like to, at that point, use my advantage attack with my...
In case it changes anything, now that you're that close, you would see that the other shadow had retreated to and ended up there.
It doesn't change anything. I'll deal with that later. I want to give myself advantage on my attack, and I want to shoot at the scissor lady. Hiya!
Nice.
Yes, you hit. You hit it, you deal 20 damage.
Then I'm going to go for my second shot.
Mm-hmm. That is... Oh, miss. Oh, no. You hit.
Ah,
A 31 hits.
Well, she hit.
You fire, you deal 11 damage to it. Alright, it's going to start its turn. It has to make a strength saving throw. What is the current DC, Manny?
16.
Alright, well, it gets a 10. So it is pushed back further whenever this happens. But you see that it seems to reacquire the darkness that surrounds it. It returns to it. It is going to move out of the wind tunnel as it's pushed back. First thing it's going to do...
Drop concentration.
You're going to drop concentration?
Yeah.
That's gone. It is going to raise up its hands, and you see a little bead of flame begin get conjured up between them.
No.
You joked about it. Here it is.
No!
Oh, no.
Oh, come on!
It's not useful in this fight.
But I'm resistant to it. Hit me.
It's gonna hit
Goodbye,
the most
guys.
people possible.
Goodbye,
As it launches a blast of fire over that way, and it hits in between the three of you. Dexterity saves incoming.
Well, of course I rolled a 1.
Arden.
Fuck!
Backflip.
From Marley.
Goodbye, guys.
Oh
What
my
is all that?
lord!
I'm alive!
Hybrid endurance.
Oh, right, yeah, hybrid endurance.
Oh no!
Every time I got you.
There's an explosion. There's a half backflip to Manuel on the ground unconscious, and they're just climbing back to their feet, a pissed off Arden.
Yeah.
That was a really good fireball. That was 35 damage. Reduced to 8 for Marile. Taken full on by Emmanuel, and I believe taken full on by Arden. Enough that it reduced you down. How many hit points do you have now, Arden?
I have 4.
Whoa! The blast
I
of
had
fire
17.
erupts, and the three of you get hit by that. It is then going to look over towards you guys, and it's going to reuse its remaining, what it has of its movement, because I don't believe it would have taken any to... Theo, it is going to then rush towards you. It brings the scissors up, flying at you, brings them around you. It's going to go for an attack on you.
Bah.
And that's a hit. It rolls a 24.
Woo! Let's go, bitch.
Do
You
not
leap up,
die.
clamps them down around you. You take 20 damage.
Oh.
Gurgle.
It's the blood.
You bring your blade up to block one of them, and it hits it, and as you see the other side coming in around you, you grab your shield from behind, bring it up, and you stop the blades from clamping around you entirely, but as you push away from them, they still slam shut and cut part of your chest and arm.
We're gonna do second level healy boob.
No,
You gotta live, man. Come on, stop doing the dying.
Bonus action, 10 hit points.
You hit me with one more spell. I'm gonna be really upset about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a bitch. I'm gonna call a little bitch for picking on a child.
Oh, it almost got a 1. It got a 19, which means it got a 26.
Of course
Fuck.
it did. Well, that's me.
I'm gonna get right. I'll get up here. I'm gonna summon my homie, extra me over here. You know, really, to not a lot of effect right now. He's just hanging out.
Yeah, you rush up as you two split in different
Sure.
directions. Your echoes appears, and you both do a pincer formation and come in on it from both sides.
Swig.
And you hit.
Yeah.
You strike it.
Oh, that's a style point.
When you hit it, it appears to be somewhat off-center compared to last time. As it's hit, it is going to lose its blur effect.
Oh, nice. All right, you little bitch. Bitch.
And that's a hit.
Yeah.
That deals another 16 damage to it.
And that's another style point. I'm maxed out now.
Oh,
That's gonna be me.
All right. You guys hear another sound of a high-caliber gunshot as through one of the balconies. Another shot echoes through and targets the creature. I'm going to go ahead and roll this, and it has advantage because the person doing it is prone. Yeah.
Wow.
And that misses. That one goes wide, and it strikes the wall on the other side of the lobby.
Killing Nicolo instantly.
Well, they're trying their best.
Alright, bitch. Time to die. At least that's the plan. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up my katana, and I'm gonna give him a slashy boo. Yeah!
That is a hit.
Yay!
Nice.
Hiya!
You deal 10 damage to it as you cut into it.
Anyway, extra attack. Yeah.
That is a hit.
I'm assuming so, seeing as it's probably got like 14 AC and
And that is 11 damage.
Woohoo!
Nice.
As you guys continue, Gino, you are the first to notice it. You see out of the shadow, out of a chunk of destroyed wall, shadows begin forming into yet another of the shadowy creatures
Boy.
that is going to fly at you and is going to go for an attack on you.
Here comes the boy.
It attacks. It hits.
Oh, hold on.
All right, I'm holding on. What's up?
Fuck it. I'll throw on Aegis of Ajax.
Alrighty.
I'll cast the shield spell on myself.
Tell the whole group what you're doing.
As a reaction to an attack targets you, you can spend 2 style points, cast a shield spell until it ends. Any creature that hits you with a melee attack from within 5 feet of you takes 1d6 thunder damage.
Hell yeah.
hell yeah.
Alrighty, so go ahead and apply the effect to yourself. It misses. You cause it to miss.
Hooray!
Oh, heck yeah.
Yep, it comes at you, it tries to attack you, you put it up, your shield appears, opens its mouth, and just a barrier, a wall of sound, effectively, this demonic screech echoes outwards and pushes it back from trying to hit you. The blur effect returns to it as its darkness reconstitutes itself. It is going to make 2, count them, 2 of its necrotic touch attacks. And those attacks are going to be on... Those attacks are going to be on Theo first, as it reaches out and strikes at you with one of the hands that it is, with one of the hands that it's holding in its hands. And that is a 23.
Don't touch me with your hands! Ow!
It took me a sec to register what you were saying.
Yeah, man, I know. It's so hard to describe. It's such a cool visual, but it's so hard to say what it is. Like, it's one of those things that sounds way stupider than it looks. It hits you, Theo. You take 10 damage, and not only do you take 10 damage, your maximum hit points were reduced by the same.
Ooh, hell yeah, boy.
Woofy, woofy.
Arden, it's going for the other necrotic touch attack on you as it swings at you with the other one of its necrotic hands.
Oh no.
As it strikes you, it deals... Ugh. Arden is down. He takes 8 damage, maximum hit points reduced by it. Gino, it is going to go for a giant scissors attack on you.
Okay.
And it's going to miss, blocked by the armor.
Yeah.
As it does, it is then going to use its bonus action, and it disappears. It seems to return to being invisible. Its body vanishes like a chameleon's.
Son of a bitch.
Alright, Theo, roll me a perception check.
Oakley dokely artichoke.
That's me. I'm heartily chokily.
You are! Perception, yeah.
Alright, 15, that's high enough. You notice another one
Hey.
emerging from the shadows, another one coming after you.
Oh, balls.
It's wisps up to you, tries to attack you. And that one's!
Oh, thank God.
Yay!
It is Arden's turn. Do we have Spence? Wait for
So
him
once
to
upon a
come
time,
back.
Arden kept fucking dying, but you know, it's his turn. I did a whole lot last fight, and you know, we didn't have time to rest because we couldn't sleep again, you see. So
Technically,
what-
Emmanuel's gone down more than
Alright,
Arden
I'm
has for this combat.
Alright, so Arden, you got hit by
I'm
one
dead.
of its necrotic touch attacks. Your hit points have been reduced by...
makes sense.
Your maximum hit points have been reduced by 8, and it is your
Nice.
turn. So make a death save.
All right. We.
Arden.
That's a
please.
fail!
Arden.
All right. Somebody fucking whack me while I'm down.
No.
You know, I'd give Arden a butt squeeze, but now's not the time. So here's just a heal anyway, because as far as I know, it says 60. Here you go.
Arden, you regain 6 hit points.
Hooray!
I'm going to just Hug Emmanuel.
You can see the other two.
I'll vicious mockery the one by Theo, because Gino's been fine this whole time.
That fails.
Then now it does 2d4. That's a 5.
That's a 5, and then apply the effect to it.
All right, I point my ring there, because that's an empty space.
Okay. So
And
there.
I'm gonna move here first.
Okay.
And yeah, that specific spot. Actually, no, I got some angle. I'm gonna get some more space. That space. I'm using what a famous philosopher, Aaron Robert Parnell, calls the video game law of emptiness.
That if it's empty, there must actually be something there?
Yes.
Okay. Then you just don't know about it. Okay, go for it. Go ahead. Roll the effects.
Ah!
Well,
Oh shit.
It extends from me in a 30-foot radius.
Am I within 30 feet of you?
I know I am. I can't wait to be that one-eyed Carly gift.
Marile is the only one of them.
against Marile.
I flashbanged myself and Mario.
Wow.
All right, it's a con save. Yes.
Marile fails.
All right.
Well, shit.
You are both blinded for 1 minute, and can repeat the save at the end of each of your turns.
Yeah, Mario's blinded.
Yeah, you're not. So go ahead and apply it to Marile. Is that your turn?
I moved 20.
A blast of radiant light flashes out from you after you point your ring dramatically at a space. Marile, just on the edge of it, you are blinded. Your eyes are filled with dazzling shapes of light. Emmanuel!
That's me.
It seems you were onto something. Because coming rushing out of you out of the area that you could have targeted, there was a shadow that was within range where you were targeting. It streaks towards you to attack you. It is going to go for an attack on you. Because of where it is and where you're paying attention to, it can't hide from you. It attacks. It hits. As it grabs you.
You ain't got the grapes.
Roll me 1d4, Emmanuel. That shadow then turns its elongated neck and head over towards the blinded Marile. And it is going to start moving towards them. Another gunshot from outside. This one is going to be targeting the shadow. The one that's on Theo.
Oh, thanks, bitch.
It hits!
I don't know who you are, but thanks.
It
Kill it,
fires,
please.
it hits it, it strikes it, and it is destroyed.
Oh,
Nice.
wonderful.
Hold on, that's the deadliest thing you've ever killed.
Uh-huh.
Good job, Mission 5 layer.
I'm gonna not be bunched up, but I adore you, Arden. But don't fucking die. Cool, thanks, bro.
What?
When I get to there, I'm gonna shoot a shadow.
Die, Emmanuel.
Shoot that bitch. Shoot that bitch. Shoot
Hiya!
that
There's only one.
That
bitch
hits.
around you.
bitch. It's a pretty good bitch shooting right there.
I know, right? I'm shooting some good bitches, Arden. Hell yeah.
Yeah, good
Professional.
job there.
You deal 11 damage to it. You fire at the shadow, it gets hit by it. Doesn't reduce that you shot it with your katana. I will note.
What?
That is your katana damage. I'm gonna go ahead and give it those hit points back, and you can go ahead and hit it with magistrate once that's done.
Blows the sword into magistrate like a crossbow.
Yeah, fucking fires magistrate. There's just like a puff of smoke, and then slow motion, a katana flies out of the smoke.
She is a sword saint.
Go ahead and roll your
No, they just do the DMC4 thing of they throw their sword and then shoot it with
shoot
the gun.
the sword. Go ahead and roll magistrate. roll your
Rolls another katana.
You deal more.
Cool, I'm about that.
You got it.
All right, one more with feeling. Yeah.
That hits.
Yay. Yeah. Woohoo.
That's another 11 damage.
Woohoo. Yay. Okay. Well.
So, Gino, you are about to roll a wisdom save.
Oh, my best stat.
Are you ready?
I bet.
Style.
You want some star points you want to put into this?
I do. I was
So that
saving
you
them for
don't get
something else,
blinded.
but yeah, it's sure. I'll go ahead and throw a couple in there.
Okay. Wisdom save.
Look, I didn't even fucking read them.
All right, as
better
you
than
do
the
this, that
alternative.
is an attempt at. You feel this pain in your head as your judgment starts to become clouded, but you manage to fight it off as you resist the effects of Crown of Madness. As moving through the air, because it cast a spell, the invisibility on our Scissor Boy comes to an end. It is going to move up on and move around the group with the movement that it has. It's going to go after Nicolo.
No!
Rushing at you. It'll have traded its giant scissors attack for 2 necrotic touch attacks that it's going to make on you. It goes up, goes for the first attack, strikes! Oof! Oof!
Oh, bye, Nicolo.
As it strikes you for critical, it is also going to heal the amount that it does. It does 19 points of damage. Your maximum hit points reduced by 19, and it regains 19.
God damn it.
Fucking go. Come at me.
Does it get more attacks?
He said he had 2. Let's fucking go.
It does. It's gonna go for another one on you. There's no reason it wouldn't.
Wait, no.
Yep.
Have him come at me. Have him come at me.
Especially because that's gonna give it a free crit, and since these heal it, there's no reason it wouldn't do this.
Oh, that's so bad.
All right.
Does this if it?
Oh, that should have been with advantage. And yeah, he hits. This is gonna be a crit. You're gonna fail 2 death saves, so please mark them off. Nope, you're unconscious. You take 17 damage.
I didn't know if the crit might have done more because I lowered my max HP or not.
No. And it regains another 17 from having done this to you.
Alrighty, so I can't really move because I wouldn't know where I'm going, huh? I'm just gonna hit a wall.
You could move. You have a general memory of the area around you, but
Don't know Nicolo's dead because I didn't see that. But it doesn't matter. I can't do shit. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here.
You're gonna pass by the range of Shadow 6 as you move, and it's going to attack you as you do.
Of course.
Alright, it goes, and it's gonna have advantage because you're blinded. It goes for its attack. It hits. You're gonna take 2d6 plus 2 necrotic. However, because it's gonna... I'm gonna roll it again to make it hit you when it's right near you, because it would have been, because that should trigger. It hits, it'll deal damage, but your devil arm incinerates it as it hits you. The fire blasts back. However, you will still take the damage because it did still hit. It takes 5. Roll me 1d4, please.
I always knew I would die in this crappy apartment.
I hate to do this, but the monsters aren't me. Legendary action.
Yeah, but you are a monster.
Necrotic touch attack. I'm real sorry, Nicolo.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Oh, no!
Let's fucking go, dude.
No.
Do
you have a gold orb?
I do not.
Oh!
We can use them on other people, though, I think.
We can.
It hits. Nicolo, I am afraid that as it strikes you again, as it brings it down into you, the life leaves you, as it is going to regain 17 of its own hit points. Nicolo is now dead. They're in the early stages of death, but Nicolo, you hear the sword clatter from their hand as necrotic energy fills their body and steals the life from them to give it back to the Scissor Faust. Emmanuel, roll me a death save. That's a failure.
That's a failure.
All right.
Fucking G, boys. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You guys would know that I have a vital star on me if you want to use it on a manual.
Gino, it's your turn.
I'm moving my clone over here.
My sentence was morbid.
And I'm gonna go over here, and if we know that he has that, I'm going to...
casually rifle through those pockets in front of this thing.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
I'd say you could find it easily, but it would be your at least action to rifle through his things, is generally how we run that.
That means I can't use it on a manual this round. That ruins the whole
Even if he did a style pumpkin.
Hey, this is DMC. If you want to ask to exchange style points for doing cool things, then
I have a style point. Can I, like...
Roll me investigation. Use a style point, roll me investigation. Remember, that's the theme of this game. You guys got cool ideas, you throw a style point at me and an idea, and we'll see what we can do.
This is real. This is -2, so...
Nice! As you rush up and do that, you search through it. You find it relatively quickly, and rather than pass it magically, you, like, take it and just cast it over. It goes by Marile, and your Echo's hand just comes up into frame and catches it in front of Emmanuel, and I assume you're using it on him.
Yes.
Okay, we'll say that was your interaction then. Emmanuel, you regain 9. Good heal.
Nice heal.
And that is your action to have used the heal. Another shot from outside, as has been happening. Once again, aimed at the Scissor Faust. It will have advantage. Shot comes in. Shot gets a nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Fucking annihilate this
I've been
bitch.
fucking healing every
It
time.
does!
I told you
A sniper would get it.
there is the sound of a shot, and you all turn suddenly as Gino is searching through Nicolo's things to get the vital star and throws it. The scissor arms are slowly coming in around him, preparing to snip down on him. As it happens, the gunshot rings out. The Scissor Faust turns instinctively towards the deck that it comes from, and there's just a moment of a bullet going in slow motion, coming towards its head, stopping an inch before it. And all we see is this slow motion entering of the bullet through its mask, the mask cracking out and shattering like an eggshell, and then blasting the wall off behind you where the elevators are. There's a ding as the elevator mechanism to call the elevator seems to go off, and the Scissor Faust, its body begins discorporating and turning into dark mist that forms a pool on the ground beside where you guys are. It is dead. The sniper got the kill.
All right. Are you close enough? Oh, you're just close enough. Thank God. Okay, I'm going to run up full speed over to Nicolo and pull out my golden orb, and I'm going to crush it over him.
Okay, so you are restored to life with half of your maximum hit points, which accounts for your current maximum, not your normal maximum.
Grazie, Theo.
Of course.
There's still a guy. We can't let
Still a boy on the field.
And it's his turn!
Oh,
fuck.
Don't do that again, Nicolo.
He rushes towards Nicolo!
I flip him off as he's coming at me. I'm just
He has 1 hit point, and he is going to use it.
I'm just flipping him off as he's coming at me.
He's coming at you, you're on the ground, you are prone, he has advantage, he rolls. He does not get a crit, which would have been amazing. Strikes you, deals 13 points of damage. Roll 1d4, Nicolo.
You end that turn right now, Logan. You end that turn right
Rushes
now.
up to you, reaches down as you're all like, Nicolo, you're okay. Just into frame, the shadow just attacks down on you, strikes your chest. You're like, ah! And then it is your turn. What do you want to do?
As he strikes me, I just look at him very just nonchalant, just fucking, I hate you so much. I just point my rifle directly point blank at his face.
You have disadvantage.
I know
on
I
the
have
attack
disadvantage,
for a bunch
but I'm
of
pretty
reasons.
sure I'm...
Go ahead. I know I have disadvantage.
I don't know if
Does
that
he
hits.
hit?
I don't think Nicolo ever needs to worry
You
about
are
having disadvantage on an
targeting
attack
him,
roll.
but
I thought I did, and it didn't work
it's
out.
okay.
He's dead
You shoot him and he vanishes.
You shove it in his fucking ghost
right in his
mouth.
face. Pow! And then I fall back. Did you take care of it?
Someone with a gun who shot it and it exploded, so it was taken care of.
Good.
Just wanted to make sure we took care of you first.
A person with a rifle, I think it was from a devil trigger.
What?
Or not, or a...
Devil
whatever
arm?
they're devil arm, that's sorry. Not a...
It's good to have someone on our side then.
Aye.
How is Emmanuel?
Manny! Running over!
As you
Helping him
do,
up!
as you run over to Manny, you guys notice the pool of darkness that the Scissor Faust's body begins to stir and sway. It almost like goes completely flat, as if it's a shadow. Then you see the remains of the head of the Scissor Faust. You hear this faint, almost laughing, this demonic laughing coming from them as they sink into the darkness, and then suddenly reform and rise back up.
You have got
Gino?
to be kidding me.
They surge towards you. Not who would be the closest? Nicolo.
Oh,
Actually,
yay.
hold on, Nicolo. Arden and Nicolo. Roll me 1d100.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Let's fucking go.
Arden
Let's go!
rushes towards you. As it does, you put your hand up, you strike towards it, your blade cuts through the darkness as it envelops you briefly. You all just see this wave of darkness almost consume Arden and begins swirling around him. After a second, it seems to stabilize and begins condensing down, and you see it suddenly blasts outwards. There's this gale as it seems to take the form of this pitch black fabric that covers you as a mantle, with the head of this thing forming a shoulder pad. As you
fuck!
Nice.
as you gain, as soon as it loads,
Oh.
as you gain the Faustine Shroud.
Oh,
Hell
blur
yeah.
though. Oh, just give
Look
me
at
that
that.
ability and I'm fine.
I was like, you're gonna be fine now.
As of the next turn, as of the next few seconds, as this is happening, your vision returns.
Go hug Nicolo. He died, but now he's not dead. Go hug him.
she's gonna. No, that was what she was gonna do when she heard him fall, but then she couldn't fucking see. And then she's gonna stuff her gold orb in his face.
I'm already alive!
You hold on to this right now, don't you dare die! The next time you die, I will revive you and I will kill you again to revive you because I can't live without you!
How are you going to revive me if you're giving me the orb? What?
Cállate la boca!
As she is pushing it onto me and like speaking Spanish, it's like he just looks up and he goes, "Sorry, it won't happen again.
It better not. Promise me.
I promise."
Still don't forgive you.
Yeah, that's fine. As I got up, I would have hugged Marile, but I would have also tried to hug Theo for saving me.
Yeah, let's give you a big hug. Like she'd like jump up and like wrap her arms around your shoulders.
Oh God, no thanks.
I'm really glad you're okay. Please don't fucking die again. It would really make Marile sad. I mean, I'd be sad too, but I don't want to see Marile cry.
I won't die. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but you did.
Oh, I'm fine.
I had this really weird dream where a bird and a horse were singing like a pop song from a couple of years ago. It was uncomfortable.
What?
That sounds pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's probably
man.
a sign.
It was
I don't
just
know, no
in
matter
that
where
dream.
I
I'm
go,
like,
I kept seeing it, and then it just wouldn't stop, and I kept seeing more, but I never got context. So I just kept getting more and more confused and upset.
I'd like to at some point try and find that sniper or whatever.
I was gonna ask you if you wanted to go look for him.
I'd like to. I got this weird feeling about him, like a familiar sort of feeling.
We could look over in the building that we had saw her in, and see if anything comes from it. I don't know if they might have stayed there the night or not, but we can at least
it's been
give
a bit,
check.
but I'd like to try and check if you all don't mind.
Anything to keep me further away from my boss. Let's go.
Oh, don't worry. We'll see him. So she's gonna be pretty obvious to spot, right? She's got like a big sniper rifle or something.
And it actually looked like it changed whenever she was moving it around to like a briefcase or something.
I can
A
do something
briefcase.
to see if they're nearby.
Oh.
Oh, what can you do?
That's just I have like this trick where I can make basically anything reveal their positions.
Oh,
fancy.
all right, let's see it.
I pull out my revolver.
Okay.
I look to him.
I point it straight in the air,
Okay.
I grab the revolver.
and I fire 5 times
Oh my god.
to the tune of shaving the haircut.
I grab him afterwards and rush into the fucking nearest building.
I love you so much.
What are you doing about
Hey, listen.
You would hear, coming from inside, not gunshots, you would have heard a metallic dinging resonating from the lower floors of the first area that matches the tune.
See, told you, they're there.
I just like look over. I just like look over, like my eyes just go half open, like, oh my goodness.
When in doubt, shaving a haircut.
It was a genius play. Bravo.
So upset that worked.
Was so impressive, Manny. How did you know that would work?
I don't know. It's a compulsion I have inside me. I just figure everyone else shares it.
I can only aspire to your genius.
You're brilliant.
It's tapped into a visceral part of the humanoid experience.
Let's go see what answered us before I lose my continental
Yeah.
breakfast.
Go towards the metallic dinging.
I think we can only hope that whoever answered back is not hostile and ready to kill us.
You guys head inside. You move in through the lower floors. This is another apartment building, same as yours. As you head in and navigate the first floor where you heard the dinging coming from, and you move down the relatively easy to navigate hallways of the lower floor, you eventually come to what appears to have been a public area, like a first floor lobby. And you see in it, and the room is relatively, it is not, the walls aren't windows, like the walls are solid stone and still standing, and you see that there's a lamp that has been placed in the middle of the room, like a hand lantern, like a glass one that has been turned on and turned up. You see sitting on one of the couches that is in this area with one foot up on a coffee table, like not on it, but heel like pressed against the edge of it, with a suitcase sitting beside them. You see what appears to be a relatively impatient looking woman looks to be early 20s, around there. She has lavender hair that's like swept over to one side. She isn't wearing it like right now, like it's kind of just draped around her, but she has a relatively heavy coat with a fur lining on the inside. You notice there's a briefcase that is sitting beside her that is under her legs, like her legs are going over it, that has this demonic face in it. It's made of this obsidian black looking material with these yellow, almost circuitry-like lines that run through it that seem to elevate, like as if it's made of a myriad of small panels that keep shifting and changing. The person that you see there is this person, who Arden,
Yeah.
you
I
recognize.
remember seeing this art.
This is... Who is this?
This is a woman named Zinnia, who was also a member of the Order of the Sanguine Heart. The sound of the outside storm, which is still raging pretty powerfully outside, you can hear it as a dull sound through the walls, a low, bassy sound of intense winds striking against the building, but beyond that, you're relatively unbothered by the outside temperatures. You see that there's some damage to the area around you. A couple pieces of the furniture look like they were clawed up, and there might have been some kind of struggle in here, but this couch has been put back to where it was meant to be, and she appears to be hanging out on it, waiting. You note that she appears to be armed with a revolver, and you notice it's sitting on the table. You imagine that's what she used to tap to return the metallic sound that you guys had used to signal her. As she looks over to the lot of you, like one of her arms is up on the back of the couch she's on, but she has a very discontent look on her face. And there's just a moment of silent recognition between Arden and herself as you enter. As there's just an unspoken moment of, even though you haven't seen each other in years, recognizing each other, and then a moment of confusion between the two of you.
Yeah.
That she seems reticent to break. The silence, that is.
Xenia,
Arden.
is that... You're alive?
I am. I was worried that the only ones that survived had been myself and Layden.
Same. I thought Layden was the only one who survived it. I am slowly approaching her, like as I'm talking to her.
She stands. You detect that she doesn't quite know how to feel about you currently. There's a strange warmth to her body language, like this moment where you can see her arm tense as if she clearly almost wants to go in for a hug, but then you see also this reluctance to her. Even anytime you approach her, you notice that she's a little bit on guard.
Where have you been?
I've been searching around trying to find Layden after everything happened. After he managed to escape what he did to our order.
I actually ran into him right before all this happened.
So he is here then.
Somewhere. I lost track of him after everything went, haywire.
I guess that means I'm on the right track then. If you're both
Seems to.
here, with the way you're talking, I assume it to be the case, but I want to hear it from you. You're not here with him, are you?
No, definitely not.
Good.
Is that why you've been a little tense there?
Yes. I pulled back from a lot of people at the end of everything that happened with our order. And Layden ostracized me, and I was never certain as to what exactly your relationship to him had ended up becoming, given everything that he was doing with your blood around the end of what was going on.
More of a tool to him than anything else.
Did you have any idea what he was doing?
No, Layden just kind of left me alone. He avoided interacting with me, really.
Even at the end?
Yeah, even at the end, he just never really showed an interest in me or anything like that.
None that you were aware of, anyways. It seems like he kept you out of the loop as to what he was doing with blood that was taken from you that I suppose he must have acquired without your knowing.
Probably. It's good to see you, though.
You may not feel that way soon.
What do you mean?
I think you have a right to know what he was doing with your blood, and I'm not sure you're going to like me very much for telling you.
Well, I'm all ears. You're one of my only friends back then, so I'm ready to hear what you have to say.
Who are all these people?
Sorry, these are my friends I met after really got acquainted with the majority of them after all of the all of this. He'll point to he'll gesture to Theo. This is my good friend Theo.
Hello.
This is Nicolo, Manuel, Gino, and Martile.
Wink.
There is an uncertain smile in return for the wink, but it seems more confused than anything.
All right. Apart from the Knights of Ulyssia, you're the largest group of survivors I've managed to bump into, so I'm glad to see there's other pockets of people out here.
Wouldn't have been that way if it weren't for someone shooting down that creature last night.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, good shot.
You're welcome. Initially, I had no idea that it was you, until I used Pandora to take aim, and then saw through the sight it was you, and then I had to help.
Aww.
Thanks. That's new. Well, I'm putting that thing to good use there.
I picked this up from a demon hunter who I had an altercation with while I was in pursuit of Leyden. They came after me. I'm not sure why. I believe they may have been hired by Leyden to go after anyone who might be on his trail, and I got the better of them and I took it. Got it appraised by some people who know demonic artifacts. It's a devil arm that was never based off of a demon. It's like artificial, and it was made by a demon named Machiavelli. And the reason I came to the city is because not that long ago it started acting like a sort of detector. Like, it would occasionally transform into a sort of radar apparatus. It's kind of hard to explain, and directed me here as if it wanted to go back to where it was made, I think. And not shortly after I got here, all of this happened.
Picked a hell of a time to visit the city.
We know a demon who used to work for Machiavelli and stuff like that, so we could probably put you in touch with him if you want to meet Briar.
Well, you if I were to be able to meet with them, I'd like to maybe ask how their equipment is ending up in the hands of random thugs. It was just some large, brutish mercenary who came after me, but he won't be bothering anybody again. Well, do you want them to also know what I have to say, or do you want it to be just between you and I, Arden? If you're here chasing Leyden, it may be good for them to know, but it's also a lot.
I think I'd like to hear it first.
Then I suppose whenever you're ready, see your friends out and I'll tell you what I know about what Leyden was doing.
You guys
Come on, everyone, let's go check outside. See if Emmanuel drew any more attention.
You also notice she also has several vials on her as well, leading you to... You know that she didn't, practice the Blood Hunter arts in the same way you did, but you know she would have been trained in them, so seeing them, you can see she's carried that on. She sits, she takes the coat off entirely and sets it to the side. It's kind of cold, but the lamp is keeping most of the area here warm.
I'm going to assume that you have absolutely no idea about anything that Leyden was doing with the Order when we were still with them, yeah? Leyden, he was doing experiments with the blood of various demons that he killed, and he was attempting to make it into weapons. You remember that he had that firearm glaive caliber hound?
Yeah, I remember.
Ever since he defeated that demon and acquired its devil arm, he became obsessed with the idea of mankind being able to take over and utilize the strength of demons. And he was very reclusive about his work. He asked me for help in regards to performing his ritualistic experiments. I kept it to myself, but Leyden was my uncle, so I did whatever he thought was best. He got it after a while in his head, after he realized that the blood of normal demons wasn't going to amount to very much. He got the idea in his head that since we were already using you and your blood seemed more potent, he would take some of the blood that I thought he'd gotten it directly from you, but he must have taken it from the experiments done on you. He used your blood in them. He thought that since you're a half-demon, that he could use your blood to bridge the powers of demonkind with the human body. But he didn't. Instead, he accidentally performed a ritual that put him in contact with a demon who is related to you by blood. I don't know much about what they said. The first time it was done, Leyden started talking about voices in his head. Whatever it was formed a sort of psychic connection with him, and he became engrossed in the idea of forming a ritual to speak directly with it that he had me help with. But eventually, when he got close to completing it, he kicked me out and cut himself off from absolutely everybody in regards to his work. But I continued to spy on him because I was curious, and I saw him conducting a ritual where he conjured the form of a great monolithic demon, a statuesque figure that appeared in a haze of blood whenever he talked to them in his basement chamber under the church that he used to do his experiments. The demon spoke to him, of being sealed away by the son of an old enemy, of almost having been released into the world, but being bound, sealed in some kind of dimensional vault, like a minor plane. It spoke of the power of Sparta, spoke of being defeated 2,000 years ago, and of the demon smith Machiavelli who forged the weapons that Sparta used to defeat him. I spied on him an awful lot. I guess it didn't really occur to me at the time that perhaps you should be informed of it, but I thought that you were as compliant as I was in it, so, sorry.
So he was using my blood to
Talk
form
to
a
it.
bridge?
To talk to this demon.
Talk this demon who's apparently related to me?
Mm-hmm. The demon, from what I heard, sometimes I couldn't fully understand their conversations because I was trying to hide away from them. They promised Layden great power. Initially, Layden spoke to the demon of the need to elevate mankind to a point where it could fight against demons properly. But over time, their conversations turned more towards leaving behind his humanity and trying to become something greater than the sum of both. And this powerful demon that Layden had contacted promised him that power, if it helped. But as a sign of faith, it instructed him on how to create a Hellgate underneath our order, from which the demons that destroyed it emerged. I wasn't certain what he was doing until the very same night that it was completed, and all I could think to do was to flee before it opened, which is how I survived. The last thing I heard before I fled, in the last conversation where the demon finally gave its name to Layden, was one that anyone who studies demons remembers. Mundus.
You know from your vague studies that Mundus was a powerful demon that tried to conquer the human world a long time ago, 2,000 years ago, and was stopped by Sparta, who was his right-hand man, but turned against him when awakened to justice. He was at one point the king of the demon world, contested only by a powerful demon named Argosax. Mundus is considered to be, as of this point in time, was considered to be the most fearsome demon that has ever lived, only rivaled by, conditionally, Argosax and by Sparta himself. But when he lost, he was sealed away for a very, very long time, and hasn't been heard of in about 2,000 years in both worlds.
Until now.
You also know, just through the grapevine of things that happened, that relatively recently, within the last decade or so, it's hard to know the exact time, you do know that Mundus tried to emerge, having regained his strength. He tried to re-enter into the human world to conquer it, but in doing so, he knew that he had to overcome the son of the demon that had defeated him. He went after the son of Sparta and lured him into a trap. But you generally know through, because it was a pretty important event, the son of Sparta defeated him, and though he couldn't kill him, resealed him, and then destroyed any means that he could have had to escape. I.e., please see the events of Devil May Cry 1. And Mundus has not been heard of from any demons from any one period, sealed within like the dimensional vault that exists in Malay Island, which is where he tried to emerge.
But now he's trying to escape.
This is basically the same thing as hearing the name Satan in our world, is effectively the bleed over.
Okay, thank you for the comparison.
Yeah. This is effectively the Satan of DMC.
Got it. Okay. That's a lot to take in right there. And Layden sacrificed our order to gain this power?
As a show of good faith towards Mundus, he opened up a Hellgate and allowed demons to overwhelm them and murder everybody there, sacrificing a group that wanted to protect humans and from demonkind, as a sign that Layden no longer had any ties to mankind. And after that, Layden fled, and I believe that he has gone about trying to find a way to free Mundus from the place where he's sealed.
You knew, but it was already too late to do anything about it?
At the time, I was frightened. Whenever he was constructing the Hellgate and I heard what it was going to do, I became frightened enough that I left. I wasn't certain who would be against it or for it, so I left. Normally, I'd have expected the Order to find me and drag me back, but they were wiped out, so I didn't have that to worry about. And then, less than a couple of months later, I was so racked with guilt about not telling anybody what happened that I decided that I would track down Layden and make sure he didn't achieve whatever he was trying to do. And that road eventually led me here.
Right. That's a lot. I don't think I'm upset with you. I'd have no idea what to do if I found that out too.
You understand what I'm telling you, though, about your bloodline.
That I'm related to Mundus, right?
Yes, that you are distantly, I'm sure. Given Mundus's disdain for humans, I can't imagine they directly took on a human partner, but perhaps some distant heir of an heir of an heir got curious and eventually bred with a human, and that resulted in you, which means you have the blood of one of the most powerful demons that has ever lived coursing through your veins.
What am I supposed to do with that? I mean, it's not really... I don't feel very powerful, especially not compared to the rest of my group. They're amazing. Sometimes I feel like I'm just holding them back. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with that information.
Well, I wasn't expecting to see you here, so I'm not really sure what to offer you. I'm going to continue hunting him down. I checked in with the Knights of Ulyssia because I heard there was some people that were still fighting back after the storm broke out, and Pandora has been relatively useful in adapting, and it's been, whenever I need cover, it manages to take on forms that protect me from the cold. But I don't intend to go back to the Knights to help them. I'm going to continue tracking down Layden, and if you've seen him, then I'm definitely going to keep on trying to find him.
Sure. Let me know if you need any help with that. He's a bastard. I'd rightly see him put down.
He looks to leave behind his humanity and become something greater, or maybe become something separate from demonkind and mankind entirely. All I know is that if he's here, that must mean that he thinks that there's some way here to free Mundus.
If we find him, he's going to hell one way or the other.
That's how I feel as well. Probably be best if I searched on my own, but I'm glad that we'll both be out there looking.
If we ever meet up again while searching for Layden, don't be afraid to ask us for help if you need it.
I'm sure I'll be relatively alright.
I'm sure you will. You're a tough bastard.
If it ends up making sense that we should work together, then certainly.
Sounds good.
But I do think we could cover more ground separately.
Definitely.
I've noticed a couple of your friends have the symbols of the Knights of Ulyssia on their clothing.
Aye, yeah, they do. They're, well, I guess they're sort of part of it. One of them's also sort of an experiment. The other one's, he's a whole other case. That's very confusing.
I see. You should, if you're looking to meet back up with them. I didn't see you whenever I was with them. There's a very large mall complex called the Summergrass Lot. There's a coliseum attached. I know, it's all references. There's a coliseum that's attached to it called Conquest Coliseum. That's where they've holed up. The canopy was up and they're using it to try to shelter people. The way in there's broken. You can't get in there directly, but there's back ways through the stores and the businesses that are in the lot that I used to get in and they're using to get in and out. So if your friends want to reconnect with their order, you should be able to. If you find any business that's still intact, you should be able to get into the back halls and find your way in from there.
Sure. Thanks for the info. I'll be sure to at least tell them about it. Whether they want to meet up with them or not, it's up to them. Which direction you headed?
Well, do you have any idea where you think that he might be headed to?
I've got no clue.
My instinct was to head towards those really big towers that appeared that ripped the city apart, but the one that's here I couldn't really make heads or tails of, so I thought that I would try to make it over to the town that's the township that's off to the east and see if the one there is a bit more accessible.
Fair enough, yeah. Be careful of the massive demons running around. I imagine you've seen that colossal fucking... You've seen Veilfire running around?
I have. I saw him moving through the blizzard. I did not intend to get involved with him unless I absolutely needed to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's pissed at us. So, if safety's your goal, then maybe best not to stick around with us. If I had a lead on where Layden was, I'd definitely tell you.
It's good to hear.
Good to see you again.
You too. I'd been carrying around the idea that I'd let down everybody in the Order by running away, and it offers me at least some comfort that somebody from the Order survived and doesn't hate me, so...
Nah, I can never. You're nice. One of my only friends back then, so...
Honestly, you're one of mine too. I was only with the Order. They wouldn't let me properly get involved with anything because Cassidy was one of the leaders there. Refused to let me get involved, which is why I clung to Layden, and I don't know, he always felt easier to talk to than many of them did, because they all treated me like I was supposed to be special or protected.
Sort of get that. That was a very important subject for them, so...
Well, now that you've heard it and you don't hate me for it, I suppose you could bring your friends in. Whenever you're all ready to leave, I'll head out as well.
Sure. I'll wander out. Hey!
Hey,
Oh,
are you okay?
Be grounded.
Yeah, not just yet. You guys can come back in. We're done talking.
Okay.
alright.
Yeah, you're ready to have your minds blown for a little while.
Admit it, you were just getting cold in there with that Marile.
Oh yeah.
I
She's
can
just too hot.
I am well aware, thank you. I am also well aware that that talking is all you two did. You couldn't have done that in, how long was that, 10 minutes?
What?
You say that, but I've come to pick you up at different... Don't worry about it.
Anyway, come back in.
Okay. If you want to kiss them, we'll go right ahead.
I don't think she's into me.
You couldn't tell?
What?
Just the moment she saw you, the coat came off.
I'm not gonna look into that.
When you guys go back, the coat's back on.
So,
Right. Where to start?
Give us the scoop.
What?
Give us the scoop. Give us the hot goss.
Apparently I'm related to Mundus. It's pretty.
Just in case Marile doesn't know, I just lean down. Satan.
Oh, Dios mío.
okay.
It's not like a direct, like, I'm not his son or nothing, but it seems to be a very distant relationship with him.
So Mundus is your, relative?
Very distant relative, apparently, Layden, you remember that guy who fucking fucked us up?
Dude who threw us in the sewer?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
he threw me in the sewer? Yeah, I remember him.
That
I wanna
fucker.
kill him.
Yeah. No, he apparently he's a big fan of Mundus, and basically sacrificed the order I came from in order to gain favor with him.
Oh.
It's about the size of it.
Attempted to murder all of us. And the only reason that we survived is because I was too much of a coward to stick around, and because Arden is historically very difficult to kill.
It's true.
I'm very difficult to kill. I'm surprised I haven't died yet, honestly.
I'm very grateful you haven't died. I don't know what to do.
Same, but I've a lot of close calls that I am not happy with.
Ugh. Yeah, I know.
Anyway, don't try not to blame her. I'd probably do the same thing if I were in her shoes.
She's your friend, I trust her.
She's very trustworthy.
She looks it. I like your hair, by the way. You're very pretty.
Very light blush. Eyes look away.
Oh, also, apparently the Knights of Ulysses are hanging out at a place called the Summergrass Lot.
Oh.
The way to get into the Colosseum where they are, it's currently collapsed. That place suffered major damages whenever the city got turned upside down, as it were. But the reinforced back ways, the hallways that lead in behind all of the businesses that are used for maintenance and such, they survived fairly well, and if you find a business that's open and proceed back through them, they eventually head into the stadium, and the Knights of Ulysses are using that pathway to try to find any survivors they can, and they have a very intelligent scientist who managed to rig up some equipment fast enough to keep that area warm, even against the demonic blizzard.
If you want to go visit your Knights of Ulysses pals, we know where they are now.
I had originally found them because I was staking out the area, like I had been whenever I interfered with the fight you were having. And I noticed them escorting a particularly loud man over towards the lot. Mr. Peppericcio, I think he yelled his name was. Something to that effect.
Eyes just start going wide.
I thought they might have been abducting... Sure. I thought they may have been abducting people, so I followed them and ended up discovering that lot.
How?
Is that the guy who owns Antonio Banderas Pizza?
Is that your boss?
I think that might be the same person. I think he mentioned something about a peppercorn pistachio pizza.
Orange just fucking...
How could he, of all people, have survived this?
He not only survived, but he seemed angry that they were escorting out of whatever his business was. This pizza place, I think?
I don't think he's getting a lot of business. I don't get why he's mad.
He seemed to be...
Power of pizza is not to be underestimated.
I have to go save my boss.
Probably need to do that. Aye.
I'm sure he's lovely.
In case it matters to you, whenever I left, the Knights of Ulyssia had asked me if I wanted to help them in a assault on the big tower, the Talon-like thing that had erupted from the city. I told them I wasn't particularly interested because I don't think Layden is... I'm not sure if Layden's there, and it's difficult to get into, so I wanted to try to track down who else might be connected to what's happening. And I heard about an archaeologist who had been researching demonic artifacts, and I heard some of the Knights of Ulyssia, including a woman named Colleen, had gone to the city nearby to the east, searching for this archaeologist who they think may have been involved in uncovering whatever did this. I thought maybe Layden would be searching for them. But if you're interested in that tower, as it sounds like you might have been the ones who interfered with the other one, the Knights,
from the west.
the Knights are getting ready to do something about it.
Well, okay.
It would be
Having backup going into that place. Yeah.
Yeah.
very advantageous to at least hear them out or try to see if we can cooperate in some way.
Mr. Blackwind, I believe, is in charge of everything that's happening there, along with the lady scientist who was keeping everybody warm.
Okay.
Thank you for your information.
Did they seem nice?
Yeah, they're nice.
The lady scientist seemed very nice, and they tried to steal Pandora from me. I had to physically remove them from me whenever they realized I was carrying an artificial devil arm, and then I said it was made by someone named Machiavelli, and then they assaulted me and tried to take it. It's alright, everyone's okay. I got away. I think I was in more danger than they were. But
yeah.
Then when I
sorry.
arrived, I will note that the man in charge, Adric Blackwind, he seems nice enough, but he was...
Kind of a grouch?
Yeah, that's one way to put it. He was very, very
So we may have to,
bossy at
if
first.
we do go there, we may have to, if we do go there, show that we are not to be parting with any of our possessions.
I can't have my gun.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be cool about it.
I just got this mantle. I kind of like it.
Oh, is that a devil arm? It looked very similar to the thing I shot. Did it become one
Yeah, it
for you?
actually. Yeah, no. Like as soon as you killed it, it sort of lashed itself onto me.
Certain demons do that, from what I understand. They're trying to become stronger, so in their final moments some die and relinquish their power, and some willingly pass it on to others as part of an attempt to grow stronger and one day return to their original form. But I shot that in the head, so I feel like it's the former.
It's probably the farmer, yeah.
Really, just like looking
I
through.
really
her
hope it's the farmer.
She's just looking.
Really hope.
She's just looking through her pockets when they're like, confiscate your devil arm. I don't think they can. I think it's inside me. Oh, I think it's inside me.
Speaking of you,
That's interesting.
I'd hate to keep asking you any questions, ma'am, but have you heard of the Order of the Sanguine Heart?
I am from the Order of the Sanguine Heart.
Were you the one that came in earlier? He motions over toward the mountain off to the west. Yes, I believe it's west. Whenever we were traveling, I had seen a was it a helicopter?
Those were Order of the Sword
Order of the
helicopters.
Sword.
Oh, I'm dumb.
The Order of the Sanguine Heart is what Arden and I were a part of,
Bloop, bloop,
and
bloop, bloop, bloop.
their soldiers under Cassidy were called Orchard, which is kind of what we're also part of, and what you're talking about is the...
My thing would going back, my bad. It's like, Have you heard of the Order of the Sword?
No, we are part of the Order of the Sanguine Heart, which is what Arden and I are a part of.
I know what you're a part of. I'm asking if you knew of the. Anyway.
I'm aware of them, but I have. I don't think I've seen any of them.
Yeah, earlier yesterday we were traveling, and I had seen a sight of a few of them coming toward the city. So I wanted to know if you had any information, but if you don't, that's fine. Good.
From what I know about them, a lot like the Order of the Sanguine Heart, which is what Arden and I are a part of.
Son of a bitch!
I recall that they are also another group that believe that demons could be used to protect mankind from demons. Layden, a long time ago, had told me that he had had some dealings with them. He avoided them because he found out that they are not exactly what they appeared to be on the surface. So we never tried to work with them, which is ironic considering what he told me they were doing.
Didn't work with the Order of the Sword, not the Order of the Sanguine Knight. The
order
that we're part
the
of.
two orders, yeah, the Order of the Sanguine Heart, which is what you and I are a part of, Arden.
Right.
What did What did he tell you they were doing?
The Order of the Sword's ultimate goal, as he found out when he had encountered a couple of their higher members, and barely lived to tell the tale, is they wish to use demons to orchestrate a way for them to ascend from mankind, to become demons themselves.
Great! Fucking great!
Which is
Just
why
throws his arms up.
Which is why I say it's ironic, because that ended up being what Layden appears to be interested in doing, which is why he turned against the Order of the Sanguine Heart, Arden and I.
We're also a part of Orcher, which is like a sort of sector.
Like a subsect of it. My mother, we never told anyone that Cassidy was my mother, but yes, that was why I was not allowed to be actually a part of it, technically. I wanted to be.
Oh.
I would say
I wanted to be a part of Orchard in the same way that you and I are a part of the Order of the Sanguine Heart.
You know what? Maybe I don't want to warn you anymore. Maybe I'll just leave.
I feel like after this conversation, though, you're going to have a very clear memory of who's in which of the orders. So this might be a good reinforcement device.
I knew. Look.
I really
I
like
looked
the
at my
idea of
fucking,
Zinnia
I looked at my
and
fucking
Arden
sheet.
bullying
Listen,
him.
this is what happened. Listen, this is what happened. I looked at my sheet and I just glanced up towards story links, and it said Order of the Sanguine Heart. I'm like, okay, that's probably mine. I'm fucking tired.
It's fine. It's fine.
Just do like a hidden high five to each other.
Because like I don't have anything else on my sheet listing anything else. That's probably it.
You detect the like quietest, very dry sense of humor from her in this. Like Arden, you very much pick up and remember from then. She's always been a bit internal, and you very much pick up on that. This is her sense of humor.
Yep.
I like her very much.
Oh no, she's great.
I just don't see why they keep on saying what they're from. Because I would have said Order of the Sword, because that's what I'm from.
I think they're just making it extra clear for us.
I appreciate the clarification.
Making it very clear.
Uh-huh.
That we are from the Order of the Sanguine Heart.
Arden.
That's crazy.
If you don't mind me asking, our order was trained to recognize demons, and obviously
She like motions over towards Fiona.
obviously you are a sort of demon.
She like looks towards Marile, and again you see like a really faint like blush that she tries to suppress really quickly. Like she closes her eyes, and then when they open, she has a much more serious look on her face.
You're the same sort of thing that Arden is, aren't you?
To an extent, but better and sexier.
I see.
She's right.
I disagree.
Yes.
She works at the old fireman station.
It's warm in here.
Drawn out, nervous breath in.
But yeah, hi.
I have no intention of digging into your personal histories or anything. I just thought it was interesting that Arden ended up traveling with somebody that was like him, and I guess I'm just I'm happy that you eventually ended up with someone like yourself.
I'm happy where I ended up, as far as everything's concerned.
You did.
Yes, between two beautiful women. She grabs Fionnuala and just puts them between them. But it could.
Oh jeez.
It could be three.
I wouldn't want that. Feels like they'd get really. I guess it's warm.
I think that might be a bit too much excitement for me. Thanks.
Ah,
Right.
Theo is very, very red.
Darker than
Yeah, she is.
Yes. We're stating the obvious. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean.
she's normally only very red. Now she's very, very red. Gotcha.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
red. Yes,
Yes.
there's a distinction.
This
In the
tomato
background,
got
just-
even redder.
Hey, Gina, you think if I flipped this bench upside down, sat on it, and shot in that direction, it would push me?
What?
Try it.
Don't try it. How about?
It's like a little rocket. Like, and it'd be like, and then I'd go that.
The science checks out.
All right.
Maybe,
No,
maybe
it doesn't.
Okay, but Manny.
Wah.
But maybe if you use like my gun because it makes it go like, it's like really like with the thunder and shit. So it might push you more if you use my gun, but you can't fucking touch my gun. So therefore, no, logic.
These are my
Manuel's
friends.
eyes narrow.
Just lean over to Zinnia. These are my friends.
That one's a child.
We've known each other for a day.
That one is a child.
It sure fucking is.
That one is a child with a gun.
Oh, I missed you.
I mean, we're not unfamiliar with children with guns. Where we come from, obviously, you and I.
right?
But the Order of the Sanguine Heart, you and I. But at the same time,
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go.
At the same time,
It seems like we already know what we're doing. I'm gonna head out.
I thought that maybe that was like a weird, like, cruelty of our order thing. I guess it's just normal for people to give children
Apparently, it's
guns.
a normal thing. Oh,
It's gonna follow
the
me.
hell, the hell kind of world did we pop into?
As they've had this conversation, I've dragged the bench into the middle of the area we're in. I don't need any gun, and I point my ring forward.
Oh no!
Ready?
Roll it.
Stop, please.
I target the wall.
Roll it.
Zinnia, I'm sorry in advance.
Why? What happens whenever he...
And then
Get ready to cover your ears.
Can't wait till she just
the
vanishes.
bench vanishes.
It
Okay.
went so fast it left me behind.
That could have been a lot worse. I'll be honest.
There's in case any of you still need to rest, this apartment complex is very abandoned, but it's still got power on some floors. So if any of you need to, then there's still entire apartments and bedrooms and food and the like if you feel like you need to get any rest before you head anywhere.
Thank
Thanks.
you. We had waffles in the lobby. It was very good. It'd been nice if
had-
you'd been able to join us.
Breakfast like they do in the Lord of the Rings.
The what?
Oh, Hoa?
Lord of the Rings. The smash hit film?
No.
Uncultured swine.
I've never seen a movie in my life.
You and I have about 9 hours of stuff to go through now.
Manny,
That's so long.
I've already told you I want to spend time watching movies with you, as long as Arden's allowed to be there.
There's this great. Oh, he has to be there. He hasn't seen it, the weirdo.
It has.
Yes,
There's this awesome moment where a guy breaks his toe. I gotta tell you about it.
Please.
All right.
It's got Kate Blanchett playing herself in elven cosplay and Orlando Bloom looking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who those people are.
Neither do
I don't know either.
You don't have to. They're beautiful.
Just smile and nod.
If you all don't need to rest, maybe it would be a good time for us to individually head out to wherever we're going.
Okay. I do have a quick question for you.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna ask Arden to ask you, but I wanted to ask you. So, Manny and I are planning to watch movies, and I'm dragging Arden with me because I want to hang out with Arden as much as possible because he's pretty cool, but you already know that. But when we get around to that, and if we all survive this, do you want to come watch movies with us? Because you seem really wonderful, and you make Arden very happy.
Again, you see another like nervous inhale and like holding the breath for way too long, like shoulders raising with it.
If we manage to find Layden, and if everything pans out and we all survive, then I guess I can't see why I wouldn't be able to.
Yay!
Hey, that's the spirit.
Is this like an all of you thing, or is this
What do you mean?
is this like
Well, I guess anybody's invited, but those are just the immediate members.
Oh, I can't
You
believe
see her like eyes
Emmanuel
looking to like
would invite
particular
me to
members
the
of
Lord
you,
the
but it's
Rings.
hard to pick out exactly ones of you, and then again just she kind of just recedes. But you can see every time she takes one of those nervous breaths, there's also like this very faint smile that goes with it that she's clearly trying to repress.
Oh my
Hold
God.
out my hand to her.
I gotta show you guys.
Trying to kill her? What are you trying to do?
Trying to shake her hand.
She will take your hand and shake it.
Do you mind if I ask you a small request?
On the record for for all of you, I am fine with any of you asking me or requesting anything of me. Just skip to the asking and the requesting.
Cool.
Would you like to be rewarded for saving my Nicolo?
Her rewards tend to last a while.
She freezes.
I think the cold got to her.
No, no.
Well, then luckily for her, I'm snuggly and warm.
Oh, dear God.
She is warm. Would you mind if I held your briefcase for just a minute or two?
You're asking if you, the science experiment of the lady who tried to steal the briefcase, could hold the briefcase?
Good boy.
I will give it back, I promise. You said it was made by Machiavelli, and I'm interested in that. It's not my dad.
Why,
it's the guy who took my soul from my fucking body and put it in a suit of armor. Thank you very much.
It's his dad. His daddy issues.
Sure, if you'd like. Sure, it's bonded to me right now anyway, so I could bring it back if I wanted. Just know that if you make me do that, it's really going to hurt you if I have to take it back by force. So, I'd rather that not happen. So just a sincere warning. And she holds it out to you.
I was gonna say he's just like holding it, inspecting it, and like trying to see if like he remembers anything by looking at this, like any memories might surface or anything interesting happens when he touches it.
As you take it, there's a certain familiar feel to it. It almost feels like the materials are similar to the materials you're made out of, for whatever that ends up being worth. It seems to settle, like whenever you take it, the various creases and whatnot on it seem to settle down. It just becomes completely like flat, as opposed to having that large circuitry pattern on it.
I'm not sure what you were expecting.
I don't know. It's more hoping that something would happen.
Pandora's a transforming weapon that it has supposedly 666 different shapes, which is what makes it particularly useful for me. But whenever it seems like it likes to rest in this one whenever it's not being used. This one being Form 1. I believe it was referred to by the person who explained it to me as Stoicism, is what this one's called. It's a form where it can take in and devour and help to offset demonic energy. So maybe because you're similar whenever you hold it, maybe it is at ease, and that's what's happening? I'm not really sure. I don't know
It wasn't what I was hoping for. Here, you can have it back.
Thanks. I'm glad. Okay, good. She has this look where she looks at her and is like, you didn't try, so it's not a big deal. I just realized it in this moment. I should have told you not to open it, but you didn't, so good. But I just realized how bad that would have been, and that would have been on me.
What happened?
Where?
It's hard to open it, but when you do it, you like old movies, don't you?
Yeah, I was just thinking about the smash hit Dune from 2021.
Have you ever seen Indiana Jones?
Yeah, which one?
Do you know what happens when you open the Ark of the Covenant?
Yo, it's got Play-Doh face, people.
That's what it does.
What?
Wait, what?
Wait, what? What does that mean?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Wait, if I do it and I close my eyes like they did, then can I do it?
Wait,
no, it doesn't really care if your eyes are open or not, and it's very hard to open it. I've only ever
I don't even have eyes,
I've only ever managed to do it the once, actually, and I've decided never to do it again. It took a sincerely massive amount of demonic energy to get it open the first time, and this just light comes out, and that half of this floor would have been gone if you'd done it, and I should have told you that would happen, and I forgot to, and that was on me. I'm sorry.
Well, for a sec, I really wanted to open it, now I don't.
Yeah, no, everyone get turned into goo.
Not even goo. You're just gone.
And you're just fine, Zinnia.
What kind of reward?
I forget.
Oh, you're curious.
You see a very sharp inhale and a feigned look of bravery on their face.
Well, it is a private one-on-one session. I usually try. But for you, Absolutely free. You're very tense. I can also do
It
massage.
sounds like a steal.
Roll persuasion. So all I'll say on that is that she looks for a second like she wants to respond, opens her mouth, doesn't, seems to whatever she wants to say gets caught in her throat, and then there's an unconscious almost nod that she makes, and then she seems to recede as if the topic had been spoken of and it was done, and she seems to try to recenter herself.
Do you need more time to think about it?
I give her like 2 thumbs up. Like, yeah, I get it.
Arden, do we need to leave her alone?
Oh, we do. Aye.
I'll take Arden's hand and lead him out of the room.
Let your friend
Alright.
have some fun.
Wait, no,
Come
quick. Get on this other bench.
Have fun.
I'm not entirely sure what's happening right now.
They're leaving the lobby.
They sure seem to be.
Oh, there they go.
So
Have
long.
fun!
Hi, guys.
So long.
Bye.
Brothers, what are we doing?
She's just waving as they all fucking leave.
Is it all though? Because my understanding of what's going on is that 2 people left and everyone else is standing there waving
Yeah,
at
just
them.
just like looks between the 2 of them, goes over and picks up a manual and walks away.
Hey, hold on.
There we go.
He follows him.
It's cold out there.
For the purposes of brevity,
As everyone steps out, you know we don't have to do anything if you're that uncomfortable.
Marile,
I love Marile.
for the purposes of this, and I do believe that this is, for the sake of the tone of today's game, I think this is the note we're going to be ending off on, as we did last time.
Can we have her roll first?
Roll me, that's what I'm getting at, roll me a constitution-based performance check.
Second bingo.
Okay. Damn it! That's an unnat 20.
That is, that's a dirty 20 is what that is.
That's a good time is what that is.
Dirty 20.
And for the purposes of your own edification, I suppose, that's a 16. So with the group evidently taking the equivalent of another short rest and waiting this out as Zinnia gets to discover some
Only took
stuff
5
about
minutes,
herself.
dang.
Purely through this is what an interesting experience. That is, I think, where we're going to, before the groups end up splitting off to go wherever they're going. That is where we're going to end off today before we start running into the near 5-hour mark, because we started late too, so that is today, everybody.
We did it.
Yay!